Good afternoon. My name is Dion West. I'm here pretty much to talk about my experience with HVRP and where I am now today because of HVRP. Pretty much, I grew up in a quote-unquote statistical, I was the statistic in and out of foster homes since I was a kid. Didn't stay in too many homes for too long until I got to my last foster home. I was there for since I was 10 to currently at who I consider my family for the most part. What led me to join the military was pretty much, I grew up in inner city Chicago, went to Simeon, graduated from Simeon, and I just didn't see it out. I didn't grow up on money. I didn't grow up with the resources that other people had. So in order for me to try to make something of myself, I went to the military. I served almost 6 years. I loved it. I did my thing in the medical field. I went to Haiti for the earthquake. Got to do a lot of good out there. What brought my end of service was me coming home in 2011 and seeing that my father had all the telltale signs of cancer, and it was to the point where there was no saving him. So I chose to get out of the military to take care of him. Eventually my father passed away. It was 2013 around Christmas time, and that's when I started to fall on harder times. He was pretty much my only support system, and that was pretty much limited. Once he passed away, it was up to me to take care of my little brothers, and I did the best that I could, but unfortunately resources ran out. I had to make the hard decision to either stay there and slowly diminish even further, or go somewhere else and try to build myself back up. I was introduced to the HVRP program at Eddie Beard Vet House through the Jesse Brown Clinic. And what happened was pretty much a year-long process of trials and tribulations of trying to build myself back up into the person that I was. I was always one of those arrogant guys beforehand that didn't think he needed resources from anyone else or the help of anyone else because I was so used to doing things on my own. It took me a little bit to realize that that's just not the way the world works. No matter what you do in life, there's going to be someone, whether they're right in front of you or behind the scenes, helping you out. Fortunately for me, the Eddie Beard Vet House and the HVRP program, that's what they specialize in. Whether it's in your face, you need to do this because you're an adult, or whether it's behind the background saying, you got this, you can do this, you have our full support. I've noticed one thing with HVRP is that they know how to break down a person, not in a negative way, but they know how to break you down to help you the most. And it's just, I'm one of those people, and anyone from HVRP or Inner Voice to tell you, yeah, he's very strong-minded, so it takes a little bit of work. I'm not a bad person, but I do have my ways. What made me turn around was that I was at the Friday meetings at the Eddie Beard Vet House, and all walks of life were there. People were doing way better than me in life at one point. Some people who did way worse than me in life at one point. But you had these guys that were 20 years my senior, just crying. Grown men crying because they were happy, because they had the opportunity to vent, and they accepted the help that was given to them, and they were appreciative. That's what broke me. I'm not a crier, but on the inside I did cry because I'm like, you know what? I thought I was doing so good in life, but these guys who were on a way bigger pedestal than I was, and they dropped down just as far as I did. But eventually they were okay with it. So I learned there's no need for arrogance. But when you get hit with a situation, you should learn from it. You're not too good to learn from a situation. You're not too smart to learn from a situation. And that was my biggest problem. Thinking I was smarter than everyone. My biggest problem was I didn't need anyone, so I thought. The best thing in life that happened to me was hitting a low point, because I understood after that what it meant to live and what it meant to be a man. You know, Byron Keys, Mr. Hassan, Ernie Banks, these are guys who were 30 years my senior, and all of them went through the same thing I went through. And they're like, you know, they pretty much took me under their wing. You know, they pretty much made me their protege without my permission, made me their protege, because they all said they saw something in me. And they all told me at some point, whether it was a good way or a bad way, we're gonna break you and we're gonna make you something because you owe that to yourself. You know, when I got here, everyone from Miss Diane to Mr. Perry, everyone, they were able to help me. You know, they saw past all my flaws that I had as an arrogant person, sat down, talked to me, and pretty much, you know, baby stepped me into their way of thinking. And that was pretty much the best thing that ever happened to me, because now my outlook on life, my position in life, everything is turned to a whole entire 360 from what it used to be. HVRP and its employees, they do a great job in finding a good place for you to work, or schooling, transportation. They're there to genuinely help you do what needs to be done to get you back on your feet. And even with me, I'm strong-minded. When I first got to the Eddie Bear Vet House, I did not want to be there. I figured I didn't need this place. I need to be here. But over time, I realized how wrong I was. Everyone needs help at some point in their life. I was fortunate enough to have a group of trained professionals there to help me out. And I thrived off of that. I learned to accept the program. I learned to go with the program. I learned to not fight the program. I learned to listen to what the professionals who've been doing this way longer than me, and in most cases, been through the same exact situation that I went through. So it's not me trying to endorse a company where people have no experience. These are people who live through this. Like I know plenty of employees at HVRP who went through the same program I went to, and I took on their mission that they had before me, helping veterans. So you know, it's rewarding to be able to help someone, be able to talk about a company that helps veterans where they help me, and in return, what I do is I've picked that mission up, and it's my lifelong mission to help veterans also. If anyone wants to help contribute to Inner Voice and HVRP program, they take suits. I'm pretty sure you can volunteer at the veteran housing facilities. Even through my company, you can come volunteer through my company through the HVRP program, and they'll link you directly with me. But there's so many veterans who go unnoticed. If you have the chance to give back, I would greatly, just like the rest of the veterans, we would appreciate it, because sometimes it feels like we go unnoticed, and even one person just serving us a bowl of cereal, or just shaking our hands saying thank you for our service, or just acknowledging us, it can make the world and the day of any veteran.